if you want me to read it off.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Here's some hashtag Monday Night Gratitude for some of the incredibly special people in my life with some pictures from the last beautiful year. So those were kind of like the pictures I was talking about. One of them being Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb. Shailene Woodley. This actually is pretty interesting because there were rumors that they broke up, but kind of with this post, it makes it seem like they haven't. It says, thanks for letting me chase after you the first couple months after we met. Finally letting me catch up to you and be a part of your life. Thanks for always having my back, for the incredible kindness you show me and everyone you meet, and for showing me what unconditional love looks like. I love you and I'm grateful for you. To the men I got to share the QB room with every day. Matt Nathaniel, Luke, Jordan Love, and Kirk Benkirk. You guys made every day so much fun, and thankful for the daily laughs and stress relief you brought me every week. And then to the Friday crew, thanks Cobb's wife, some dude named Frankie, and then David Bakhtiari.
Somebody said some dude named Frankie. Shout out to Frankie. Some dude named Frankie.
To my teammates, past and current, you're the icing on the cake. We call our job football. Friendships will transcend our time in this game. Thankful for the role played in my life. Love you guys. Cherish the memories. Everyone else, spread love, gratitude, blah, blah, blah. So that was the post.
Well, you got to spread love. That's the Brooklyn way. Everybody knows that, man. Come on, baby.
Yeah, everyone thought after he posted that some type of news was going to be announced whenever he went on Pat McAfee yesterday for the Aaron Rodgers Tuesday show. But right off the bat, which is hilarious too, right off the bat, he goes, listen, I'm not making any announcement. Whereas Pat McAfee's probably like, bro, don't say that. You can't say that. That's why everyone's tuning in right now. You got to wait till the end.
Yeah. Keep them on the hook.
Pins and needles. Then he really didn't say anything. They recapped the year. And it was just a bunch of, last off season was different. There was a lot of uncertainty, but then we got through it, talked to the general manager, had conversations, difficult conversations, but you know, we had more clarity going forward. Then as I played out the season, relationships got better between me and the GM, and just was really grateful. And now we're here.
Now, my question is this. When do you think we're going to get this announcement, man?
Soon, because he actually mentioned it in the interview.
Yeah, I'm like, it has to be happening soon, right?
Is up right now, and the Packers are going to be probably looking to franchise tag Devontae Adams or give him a long-term extension. So a lot of that is going to be predecessed off Aaron Rodgers and what he does, right?
The franchise tags are coming up within, I think it's next week, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
I think wasn't it yesterday? They could
they could start tagging yesterday, but
I haven't heard any news, though, so you might be more right.
Yeah, well, no, I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong, but I know it's. We'll look into it, and then obviously we'll react to that maybe on Friday. But it's definitely coming up, though. Yeah,
if it was supposed to be yesterday, because I feel like if it was yesterday, we would have heard about one or two people.
Right, being tagged. I know it's about to happen, though. I just can't remember if it was this week or it was next week. It was supposed to be going on. So
the news has to be coming up soon. I feel like he's either going back or he's retiring.
So you don't think he would venture out to any other organization, follow Nathaniel Hackett to Denver, any other place? I mean, we've talked, like I said, about him even in Pittsburgh. Like, you think that he would just retire over all of that?
The other problem is, though, he's like, I could still play. I feel like I could still play. And now with Brady being out of the NFC, well, this is actually why I think he'd go back to the Packers. I feel like that's the best road for success next year. With Brady
he can't beat San Fran, man. You're going to see them boys. Jimmy G going to pull up on him. He don't want that smoke.
Now, I don't know if this is how NFL players think necessarily. Are they actually looking at the landscapes before they make decisions? Because if he goes to the Broncos, now you're dealing with the Chiefs. Now you're dealing with the Raiders. Now you're dealing with the Chargers.
I would say this. Most players know because they're not getting paid to that level, or the expectations aren't to that level. But when you become an Aaron Rodgers, that's no different than a Ben Roethlisberger. That's no different than a Tom Brady, a Peyton Manning, etc. You are very aware of your surroundings when you're making a decision. You are very aware of all the pros and cons because you're just held to a higher standard in terms of how they evaluate you. We talk about Ben. It's like, man, if anything went wrong, the blame goes on Ben. When things went well, the praise went to Ben. So those guys know that, but they also know that, hey, man, if I think that this roster isn't going to be good enough and I'm going into a division like the AFC West where it's dogs everywhere, then, yeah, how's that going to reflect on my legacy? Because they're going to always judge me based on my statistics, but also based on Super Bowls. And if I can't get to another one, how am I going to look? So I definitely think that he's very, very much aware of his surroundings in terms of him making this decision.
Now, I don't know if that necessarily holds him back from going to the AFC because, dude, I don't know.
AFC's wide open, though, bro. The AFC is wide open, man.
It is, but then all the QBs people are talking about. But I just feel like if you're Aaron Rodgers, if you're the Aaron Rodgers,
you're not worried about
type,
those guys.
Tom Brady type. That's what
you're
I mean.
not worried
You're
about
just
that.
like, I'm gonna go wherever.
Yeah.
But that's why I think.
But I think you acknowledge it, though. That's all I'm saying. Like, you acknowledge it because you're saying to yourself, hey, in the NFC at Green Bay, I'm not facing dog quarterbacks every week. So it benefits me. Whereas if you go in that AFC West, you facing Mahomes, you facing Herbert twice a year.
So you can see, right.
You could be You could be as confident as you want, but let's be real about it. You like having that one seed in the NFC. You like guaranteeing pretty much every year. Yeah, you like guaranteeing pretty much every year that you're going to win the division. You're going to win your division. You're going to get that 1 seed, 2 seed at worst. That becomes, no longer a guarantee. You go to Denver in that AFC West because you're not sweeping.
That's what he has
you're not
up
sweeping
in Green
those
Bay
guys
right now. You basically have the number 1 seed locked up. If they can bring back for the most part all their players, I know they're not going to be able to bring back everyone. Just because a lot of people are up for contract right now.
Correct.
You have that up in Green Bay. Realistically, Vikings, are you kidding me? Kirk Cousins is going to be coming back. Lions.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Bears, ton of uncertainty.
It pretty much guarantees you're winning the division. Guarantees you're going to have, like I said, you're being legitimate conversation for that 1 or 2 seed. Worst case. Yeah. So it's like I said, no matter how confident he is, it's like, man, those are very legitimate things to weigh in terms of the pros and cons of that decision that he could potentially go with.
The other reason I think it makes sense for him just to go back to Green Bay, from what I was listening to yesterday on the herd, he only has 1 year left on his deal. So if he goes back 1 year, you still have a really good chance with Green Bay. If you want to reevaluate, do the whole Tom Brady thing where you go to another team in free agency, then you could just do that.
Yeah, but the problem is, though, in terms of the cap situation, him coming back on that 1 year, man, it's going to cost, right? And when you're trying to bring back as many of those players that we've talked about, you're not going to be able to do that. Their cap situation isn't like our cap situation. They're, in a little bit more of a darker place.
He does have a big cap hit.
Yeah.
And that's why I wonder. And
then think about this, if you franchise tag Devontae, bro, that's pretty much all their cap. I mean, I don't even think they have that much cap right now. Obviously, they're going to make some moves and restructure and stuff like that. But as a whole, man, they got a lot of work to do before they can just make that look good, even if he is returning.
Well, I'm looking at this right now because it seems like that's the last year of his deal. It was a 4-year. It was a 4-year deal from 2018. But it looks like there's some leftover residual. So I don't know what the hell they did with this thing.
Unless they restructured it at any point in time, man.
That's what it's looking like.
If they did any restructuring and it's just like dead.
2023. I don't know. This kind of looks like a mess.
No. So all it is this then. If that's the case, then what it should be is they might have restructured him at some point in time throughout that contract. And then when you restructure, like I said, it guarantees it as a signing bonus, but it doesn't hurt you in cap situation that season. And they probably just dispersed it and said, you know what, we're going to spread this cap hit of $20 million over the next 4 years.
It's a voidable thing.
Yeah, it's like that type of thing.
They're going to have like a $7 million dead cap if they void it in 2023. But it looks like he's going to be unrestricted after this season.
Right, because he gets to choose. That was the whole purpose of it being set up like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wonder, just from the standpoint of why go to a team, this whole fiasco, do the trade and everything, especially if it is the Broncos, because it seems like if you're going to say like a top 3 or do some rankings, they're probably number 1 right now for getting his guy that was over in Green Bay to be, the QB coach or the coordinator? Or no, he's the head. Is he the head coach?
He's the head coach in Denver now.
He's the head coach over at Denver right now. So
but now,
it makes sense.
But wait a minute though. But you also have to remember this. The same thing that they were trying to put on, I think it was Bieniemy and Andy Reid, saying that Andy Reid is the guy that calls it. Similar things were said about Matt LaFleur and Nathaniel Hackett. Oh, really? So if you believe that it was LaFleur, why are you going to hang out with Hackett? You know what I mean? That's my part.
Unless he just really likes him. He's spoken highly of him. But also he spoke highly about the QB coach that they just brought back to the Packers in that Pat McAfee interview. That's why I think he's just going back for multiple reasons.
I can see that, man.
That he's got a really easy path, not only to the Super Bowl. I want to say an easy path to the Super Bowl because we saw how things played out for him.
Who was that quarterback he lost to? Who was that quarterback he lost to this year? I can't even remember. What was his name?
Jimmy G. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying. It's not an easy path to the Super Bowl, but it is an easy path to the playoffs for sure in his division. That's all you want. You want to get into the playoffs so you have a chance.
Get you a chance. No question.
Green Bay, they're a well-run organization. They're going to put a pretty decent team around him. Yeah. And then also you have 1 year, and then you could be a free agent. Then you could decide, do I want to go back to Green Bay even, or do I want to sign somewhere else? Then you're a whole free agent as opposed to getting traded somewhere, depleting them of draft picks. I just feel like it makes sense for him to go back. It seems like they're on good terms right now too.
Like I said, everything does seem like it's pointing that way. They were really able to repair that relationship, even to the point that made him come back last season, right? Because that was the big issue anywho. But yeah, I'm with you, man. It does make the most sense from my eyes for him to stay in Green Bay. But it's really going to be dependent on how they can make that roster look similar. Because if you're not going to be able to retain the key players that we're talking about, right? If you're not going to have those guys back next year, well, then you just come back for the sake of just coming back. And that's the part for me where I'm just like, that's what he's really going to have to weigh. But if him and the GM are on similar pages now and they're going to work through this thing together, then I do think, it makes the most sense for him to stay there.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Now, we did have Turn Tavern, though. Turn Tavern, he came in with the super chat real quick. And he says that in terms of what we want him in Pittsburgh, right? We're having that conversation a little bit in terms of Denver, Pittsburgh. He says, I don't want a 2-year rental. No to Rodgers. Yeah.
I guess that's assuming that he would resign because I'm pretty sure he's an unrestricted free agent after this year. I'm like,
but no. He's saying if he would have come, he's saying if he was to come to us, he wouldn't have wanted it because he feel like he would only have him for 2 years and then he's going to be gone in terms of like going off in retirement and stuff like that.
Yeah, like what we would restructure his deal or something, extend him for an extra year, something like that. Okay. Yeah. There wasn't too much to the interview though. There really wasn't too much to that. I'm assuming we're gonna get some information.
We gotta keep waiting,
in the next week or two. That's really it. And what it has to do with the Steelers, I'm borderline with him. I know he'd be an upgrade over Mason Rudolph. He'd help the team, all that type of stuff. But to trade the capital that we would need to get Rodgers, to police the team building, when does he retire? Are we just going to have – a lot of people are comparing him to Favre with how he's handling this. The
seriously.
Wishy-washiness of it. But I don't think he's going to go to that extent. He's talking about I'm going to make my
Favre was way more –
Favre would take it to training camps, and that's all you see on SportsCenter.
Yes.
That was all you see on SportsCenter in the summer.
And Favre would play into it as well. Like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. I really think I'm done. And you're like, are you for real? And he's like, oh, all right, I changed my mind. You're like, dude, what the heck you just said a week ago? Yeah.
He did the whole process of going to the Jets just so he could get to the Vikings.
Yes. Yes.
That was a mess.